Hey everybody, I'm Jill Redfern and welcome to Third Shift Movement Shop, home of literal technique. This tutorial is about the bone alignment chain reaction, which is a central concept in literal technique. Before we get into that though, I want to back up a couple steps and give you some vocabulary that you can use. So when I started trying to figure out how to correct the issues I was having with my own alignment, what I started to realize was that to a large extent, I was doing a lot of guesswork, trying to figure out how to execute certain movement. I wasn't incapable of executing movement. I just had this sense that I wasn't tapped into something. So the further I got into figuring out my own technique, the more I started to break things into my mind into three things. For every bone and muscle that a literal technique talks about, there are three categories. The first category is the what happens where, which is where movement actually happens. The second category is the geeky glory, which is the anatomy of the bone or the muscle that we're talking about. And that tells us how movement happens. So we've got the where it actually happens and how it actually happens. Those get translated into dance technique through the technique fundamentals. So the bone alignment chain reaction is a technique fundamental that is based on a what happens where and a geeky glory for the central bones. It starts, this bone alignment chain reaction begins at the 33 vertebrae. So getting into now the bones that we're talking about. The 33 vertebrae are one structure. The vertebrae move jointly but differently. The bones in literal technique that derive their alignment directly from the 33 vertebrae are the skull, the ribcage barrel, and the pelvic barrel. They're connected to the 33 vertebrae in such a way that when the vertebrae move, they move. That's how we know their alignment is derived directly from the 33 vertebrae. So what that means is that the 33 vertebrae are primary. They're in a chain reaction, essentially. If they're not aligned, the other three are not aligned. So when we start to move, the first thing we want to do is tap into the alignment of our 33 vertebrae as one structure. We don't want to break it into parts. We don't want to think of it as, the pelvis is isolated unto itself and is not connected to anything. It's connected to the 33 vertebrae, and so is the ribcage barrel, and so is the skull. It's a one for all for one situation. If one of these is misaligned, the other two are misaligned. So that bone chain reaction is an important thing to understand because the 33 vertebrae set us up for all movement. So in your class this week, before class, when you're warming up for class, either on the floor or maybe at the bar, as you're warming up, start to visualize the 33 vertebrae as one structure. One structure, it's the central support of your body. Visualize the skull, the ribcage barrel, the pelvic barrel as part of this one structure so that you can unify those three alignments in your body, not in your mind, but actually in your body. Visualize that unity. Without the ability to see the 33 vertebrae as one structure that directly impacts the alignment of these three, we will not be able to unify our movement when we start dancing. So take the opportunity when you're warming up, you're not trying to remember a combination or anything, to visualize that reality. And then once you get to the warm-up section of your class, see if you can apply that to the way that you move. Before you move, can you feel the 33 vertebrae? Are they aligned? While you're moving, can you feel the 33 vertebrae? Are they aligned? The skull, the ribcage barrel, and the pelvic barrel will come along if the 33 vertebrae are aligned. All of that correction of these three alignments happens at the vertebrae. So see if you can shift the way you think about this central part of your body. Think about the bone alignment chain reaction and how it impacts everything else that you do, when every other movement that you're about to make. And see what happens. Okay, I'll see you next week.